tell us all about it, and we'll talk about it.
Thank you. Let me get this thing going here. It's very nice to host disabled participant screen sharing. So I don't know. Let me see if I can get back to my slides. Can you see the slides?
Yep, we got you.
Oh, good. Okay. It's nice to meet everybody. I did start this thing called Colorado Safe Horse after Laura Wolf, I don't know, but it was all over the news. In December of last year, December 2nd, she was riding her horse in her neighborhood in Arvada and was hit head on by a distracted driver who ran a stop sign. And it broke Griffin one of his forelegs, and he had to be put down in the road. So that was, it triggered me because I've done sports most of my life, and I just could not imagine how anybody could go through such a tragic thing as she did. So that's what got me thinking about some things that have been in the back of my mind for quite a long time as I ride in the Front Range. My horses, well, I now just have one, but he's in Parker, and we've ridden on the Front Range for many, many years and have had some close calls. Let me give you a little bit background about me, if I can get the next slide.
Will you put that on the presentation mode?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
No, all right, let's go there. Okay, there we go. Do you see the About Me slide?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I've been on the planet for a few decades, so I've done a lot of things, but and in the West, I grew up in Utah and came over here and lived in Colorado most of my life. But I've had a certain degree of experience with road cycling, which was my preference. And I was a mountain biker for about 5 minutes, but being out on the trails in different ways, in different sports, has always heightened my awareness from a safety perspective. But I think the thing that impressed upon me the importance of safety and taking precautions was my volunteer membership in the Colorado Mountain Club. Hopefully some of you here on the call are familiar with that club. It's a very, very well kept secret in Colorado. And the reason that it's such a well kept secret is that safety is paramount with those people. You're not permitted to go on hikes of any kind unless you've taken your basic safety courses. And as you progress in your athletic ability and ability to go on more complicated hikes, you have to achieve more safety courses. So that's why it's a very well kept secret. You don't read about them in the news because they rarely have catastrophic accidents. But with as many things as I've done in my life, one of the things that triggered me so badly on December 2nd was that I wound up on the hood of a car as a runner in New Jersey on a business trip. And I had the right of way, just like Laura and her horse did. I looked straight at the driver. He looked at me. I had the light. I started running across the painted section of the road, and he drove right into me. It brought back another memory of riding my road bike down the Greenway Trail, which is a little bit west of Denver. And I was hit head on by a United Airlines pilot who had just gotten a new mountain bike. My very expensive French bike survived the impact, but his bike did not. But it was just beyond my comprehension how anybody could hit somebody head on a bike on a bicycle path, but that did happen. Hiking up in Staunton State Park, as I was doing a pre-trip, checking a trail to ride my horse. I was up there hiking, and unfortunately, a mountain biker came by around a blind corner and nearly took me out. So when Laura's accident happened, I was just triggered, and I thought, I'm going to go get a high visibility vest made for her, and I'm going to send it to her. And then I thought to myself, I think I'll get myself another one. I had already purchased an equestrian vest. It was a very expensive vest from a manufacturer in Britain. but the vest is about $70. It's beautiful. And I bought it to walk my dog in metropolitan Denver in my neighborhood because people just drive too fast. So that's the quick background about me and my background in the sense of being outdoors and my concern about what happened to Laura. So the headlines, you probably saw them on December 2nd and thereafter about what happened to Griffin. And one of the concerns that I had, and this is a photograph of Laura, that is not Griffin that she's on, but the thing that just really throttled me is I thought to myself, how would I process losing my horse on a road and having to put him down? How would I work through that kind of emotion? My second thought was maybe she'll probably never ride again, as traumatic as that possibly was. I know she's a school teacher, and I was concerned that she may not ever ride again. She's got to process that incredible emotion. And if she did choose to ride again, buying a horse is a pretty expensive thing to do these days. So with the thought of having a vest made for her and knowing that myself and some of my friends might like to have such a thing is what caused the creation of the product and the number of products that we have on the website. But the other intention was to provide a percentage of the sale of those products to Laura to go toward funding some support from an emotional, psychological perspective, and also from a litigation point of view. I had contributed to her GoFundMe, which they closed down when it reached $12,000. But believe me, you can run through lawyer fees pretty quickly. And hopefully they're pursuing litigation because the consequence to the driver was simply a moving violation traffic ticket. That was the only citation he was issued on that day. So I reached out to Laura after I had this vest made and told her what I had done and that I would like to send it to her. And she agreed to receive it. And I told her what I'd like to do is with the colleagues that I had met online, the people in Scotland who make our vests. They're Clydesdale owners in a small town in Scotland, and a couple here in Texas who make the breast collars and the neck IDs that we have. But when we gathered together, the goal, our goal was to donate 20% of the product purchase to Laura. She was very touched by it, but suggested that what we should do, she would feel better if we donated the product percentage to the Arvada Horsemen's Association. So that's what we're planning to do. So here's the website. And again, the motivating factor is indeed harvesting the headlines off of the news coverage of this tragic event is that senseless loss of life and injury should not become the norm. Unfortunately, Laura is not the only person that's been hit by a vehicle and lost a horse. A little boy in Alt, Colorado last October, his horse was hit from behind by a distracted driver, and that horse died on the scene, and the little boy broke his back. So it's not an uncommon thing. Certainly road riding, it's not something that I do, but in rural areas, road riding is more common. And with the population increase that we've had here in Colorado and elsewhere, it's something that you have to be much more concerned about. So my collaborators on this project, Scott and Susan, or Stuart and Susan, are the Clydesdale owners in Scotland. They do make high visibility vests and other high visibility clothing for riders. They can customize them, which is what we have on our website. Stuart actually donated the logo for Colorado Safe Horse and for a project, and he was pretty mortified at what had happened out here and the lack of consequence to the distracted driver. So he's put a lot of energy into the products that he's designed for us. And as I mentioned, Stuart and Susan are in Texas. Susan has a Missouri Foxtrotter like I do. So we have some things in common with regard to that. So that's our collaboration. We can also create other types of products and certainly set up other donation capabilities for other organizations if the need arises. But again, our purpose, well, in my mind, was threefold. Tactical, and it's self-preservation, seriously, is to be highly visible out on the trail. As a road cyclist, and I'll show you in one of my slides, I always used a rear view mirror that clips onto my sunglasses. And I wear that when I'm out on the trail so I can see people coming up behind me. So it's not the surprise that it used to be years ago when I was out riding my horses up in the foothills. Educational, which we share with Rocky Mountain Backcountry Horsemen, is sharing the message, just like we did at the Ponies and Pedals event that you hosted last Saturday down in Canyon City. I also, in the website, created a page with a lot of research that enables people who visit the page to look up their local agencies for local government, state, and national, federal government to engage with organizations who can support us in the safety of the use of our trails across the country. And I think most importantly is what Rocky Mountain Backcountry Horsemen did last Saturday, is the collaboration and taking a leadership role and sharing that message of trail safety by introducing cyclists and hikers, any other kinds of trail users to horses, and establishing more of a familiarity with horses and how they react and behave with other people on the trail. So as I said, one of the things that, and I own a company called Knowledge Equity Partners Incorporated, so it must be something in my bloodstream, but I always want to know as much as I can possibly know about a topic that impacts me and my horse, my family, what I'm doing out in the world. So we've got a whole page developed here for Colorado Knowledge Resources, National Parks Resources. We've got 6 of them here in the, 4 of them here in Colorado. And I also listed out kind of a big list, things that I always want to know every season. I want to know what the latest guidelines are, such as e-bikes, what's going on with them. I always am interested in learning about best trail practices, horse camping planning checklists. I don't camp, I travel. I'm a hotel girl these days, but I do travel with my horses, mainly up to Yellowstone Park, which is where I spent my summers as a kid, riding up that way. But what's important, again, here is just what I thought would be helpful is to aggregate all of this information onto a page where you can click and say, well, what can I find out about in Horse Trails of America for Colorado, by the way, which Horse Trails of America, if you're not familiar with this group, I highly recommend them. They have a huge Facebook page. They have a very, very well done monthly newsletter that gives you just all kinds of information, not just in Colorado, but across the United States, for those of us who like to trail ride and who like to travel with our horses. Region 2, USDA Forest Service, of course, you always want to check in with your district rangers if you're going to be overnighting up in the up in the mountains. Colorado Parks and Wildlife. So it's pretty basic information. It's self-explanatory, I should say, what we've organized here. But that was also a purpose behind Colorado Safe Horse. The other thing that is important to me is advocacy. And that's what the statement down here at the bottom of this page is: nothing will change if we just sit in our saddles. And on this page, we've aggregated information, as I mentioned earlier, how to find your federal representatives, your state representatives, your community representatives. For example, if you live down in Canyon City, who is your community representative that you can speak with concerning safety on the trails and access down in that particular area? The advocacy efforts section here, there's quite a few more, but I had to cut off the page to get it onto the slide. And I think I may have the number of chapters for backcountry horsemen incorrect, maybe 9. But the bottom line is you can point and click on these links and get quick access to this information that's aggregated here. I'm behind on this trail train with the pros. We did, however, sponsor the Friends of the Equestrians skills course annual poker ride. We donated 30 vests to volunteers, and they stood out really well during the event. But they have, for those of you who are not familiar with Friends of the Equestrian, they have the largest obstacle course of its kind in the United States down in Colorado Springs. And it's just a really, really wonderful resource that is located in Bear Creek Regional Park. So you have that exposure to trail riders and runners, hikers. It's just a wonderful, wonderful place. Did you have a question?
I will add, since you brought up Friends of the Equestrian, one of the things I'd love to see us do is try a repeat ponies and pedal event, maybe when it starts to cool off again in the fall. Maybe sometime in September we can do the equestrians. We know equestrians will come up for that skills course. Yep. But if we have bikers somewhere else, I keep meaning to look at the map around there to see what would be a good central location for everybody to do a little practice loop kind of thing. But we could also just have bikes come over and meet us at the skills course, and we could let them ride at the skills course for the day just to help the horses have some experience. Absolutely. And they we've talked about collaborating on something just like that. So I would love to get you connected in with them if you don't know them. I do. Yeah, I've helped them in the past, and Sadie partners with them. She does some of their work rides and stuff, not work rides, their Saturday work days. Yes, I met her at the event actually, and took a bunch of photos at her stop. But yeah, I think that'd be wonderful. Right. Yep. So that's definitely something we can start looking at. And then Ashley Sack, the one from Fremont Adventure Recreation that I worked with, will probably know a bike contact up there for us. Yeah. And the other group that we can partner with, we can look at trying to rope in OPPI, which is the Pikes, it's PPORE or PPRO. I can't remember. It's so many acronyms. They're on a huge vision planning Pikes Peak outdoor recreation region planning committee. And I've been on it, but I haven't been able to attend. And I've asked other equestrians to go and attend in my place because I can't get to Springs easily for the meetings that are at like 8 a.m. or something ridiculous on a Thursday. Yeah. Like it's just not in the cards for me to be able to get there for a meeting like that. But if we can kind of get in with them, that's something we can really, from the ground up in Colorado Springs. Yeah. Backcountry horsemen, Rocky Mountain Backcountry Horsemen, and Colorado Safe Horse can set up trails and stuff like that to be safe before there's a problem. Absolutely. I would love to work with you on that. And I have reached out to, excuse me, the COMBA, the Colorado Mountain Biking Association, and told them about the Ponies and Pedals event and asked them if they had an interest in talking to us about it. And they said they did, and I invited them to come to the event, but I didn't hear back from them. It's a long drive, I'm sure, from wherever they are. If they're most Colorado state organizations are not based out of Penrose, Colorado, like we are. No, but I think Colorado Springs, it could be a little bit easier for them to get to members from the Denver area. I think that would be great. And yeah, so if we kind of we should start thinking about some other dates that we can manage that and coordinate it. It took us
When I say it took literal years to make the Ponies and Pedal event happen, I'm not kidding. That it was years in the making. We've been kind of spitballing back and forth, kind of how we would do it, where we would do it, when we would do it. And it just never really lined up that each organization had a date that worked.
Mm-hmm.
And then this year, finally, for National Trails Day, we both had it open and both of our boards agreed to let us lead an event like that. So it just took so much time. So we can't even honestly hold our breath and be hopeful that we would get an event in Springs or Denver this year, realistically, because a lot of major mountain bike events have already planned out all of their weekends through the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So it's something we can just kind of, you know, bureaucracy cranks away like slow frozen molasses. So it's a big process, but it's definitely something worth doing. And I meant to say before I rambled on more, all of you have the ability to unmute yourselves right now if you have a question, because she asked if you guys had questions. So, or you can do the little raise hand thing and I can little bump you and ask you to unmute and it'll give you a little pop-up window. But if anybody has comments, Michelle, please. You're unmuted or about to be. Hopefully. I'm trying.
There
we go. We can hear you, Michelle.
Okay, yes, so oh, now I might have forgot what I was thinking. Oh, I was trying to like plan out an event like this and tried to figure out like what's the problems, you know, how are we going to get our sponsors, you know, how big of an event could it be, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this would be a great event to get some funding to go for it.
Where were you thinking of having it, Michelle?
Well, I didn't realize you were from Northern Colorado. I was thinking like either like I would get help from Levita trails. So like either Levita or Cannon City or something like that. But if you're north,
Well,
that may not work.
well, I wouldn't discount that. I live in Denver. So, you know, I mean, you know, we went to the Canyon City event. So I think it's important to get the message out wherever people want to present it, frankly. I follow the Levita Trails page on Facebook, and I'm really impressed with all the information that they're putting out, and thrilled to see that's going on. It's such a beautiful part of the state.
And I'll add that Levita Trails, we went in on a grant with them and they got it for this year. So we're going to be doing some work down on the Bartlett Trail, which is a backcountry wilderness trail down by Rye in Colorado City.
Nice.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I wanted to like really quickly before I forget to say something. Heidi asked in the chat, you have a survey monument and bearing tree sign on the page. Is there a reason or purpose for that?
It was a photo that I took while I was hiking, actually checking out a trail. And to me, it's more symbolism than anything else. There's a couple of issues with the sign. It's hard to read. But how much accuracy is associated with it. It's a very old sign in a part of, it's down near Pagosa Springs on some property that I was staying at last fall. So that's the reason it's there. It's just a photo that I took that said something to me.
Heidi, if you want to add anything about that, it seems like she's a land surveyor, so she might know a little bit more about what's on that and how old it is. If you want to weigh in, we can definitely continue as well.
Yeah.
I think please go ahead, Heidi.
This is Heidi. I'm just curious. I used to work for the Forest Service and the BLM in cadastral surveying, and we would put those bearing tree tags on the tree that was it's a marker that tells you if it's completely filled out, it will tell you the direction and the distance to the property corner. And then, of course, you do have a property corner in the photo to the right. And if you can read the township range and section and the corner, that can give you your location where you are on the ground.
Well, and thank you for that. When I was a wilderness trekking leader, I guess maybe that's what caught my eye about it, because I was just up there wandering around checking out a trail, and it just stuck out there to me, but I wasn't able to see any information on the corner piece. But thank you for that, Heidi.
Sure. Yeah, I can't see any information on it either. I think that's a private land surveyor monument. So you would have to get the number, the PLS number, professional land surveyor number, and actually give them a call to ask for more specific information, which is kind of, I don't know. I don't like that. But I did notice on the bearing tree tag that whoever put that up, they didn't put in all of the information. So it's kind of, it's not helpful to the person on the ground.
No, but the good news about where it is located is that it's on a hill, believe it or not, and you can see on two sides and know where you are. But yeah, I was just checking out some area down there for riding my horse and on foot.
Little landmarkers for little milestones, lampposts for riding along the trail and recognizing something.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that. I've been recently, because I have an iPhone. A lot of the photos I took 6 or 7, 8 years ago when I was riding trails, but just kind of taking pictures, those save the GPS location of where it was, so I can go and find an old trail I rode based on where I took a picture. So that's been kind of cool.
That's awesome.
That is cool.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not just iPhone. I'm sure that other smartphones save the same data. You just have to figure out how to find it.
Yeah.
You can sort your photo album by location and find places where you took a picture. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I do think Linda and Michelle should connect on the La Vida Trail stuff in terms of Michelle, maybe you could find out the Bartlett Trail, I'm pretty sure is just a hiking horseback riding trail, but it would be nice to have some extra high visibility stuff to let them know, just to loan it out on days that we are doing work rides up there and volunteer rides, so that people know that we're stopped on the trail. So that's a big one for us out there working.
So that's like, what, can you just repeat that real quick, Hillary? I didn't write it down fast enough.
Just try to see what you can find out about Bartlett Trail. 'Cause that's the trail that we're working on together with the grant, and see where there would be need for Colorado Safe Horse to kind of help us out. Because I think for La Vida, but then Michelle is also in Black Forest for the summer, as far as I know. And so she's in an area where you guys could definitely team up and do some road riding education. You guys could plan just a simple fun ride through Backcountry Horsemen where you wear all the gear and educate anybody going by.
Sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that would be fun.
You
Even
could just do Pineries open space again.
yeah, we could. That would be a little event to kind of work up to this.
Yep.
Yes.
And I will say, for the ponies and pedals, the big thing we did to avoid paying any kind of major fees, we called it a meetup or a gathering.
Oh.
Because when you call it an event, suddenly people think that there's 75, 100 people showing up and the city deserves its take. So we just say it's a meetup, it's a gathering, we're all just getting together. We happen to be doing it on a date that was advertised, because that's how you meet up.
Right. Oh, that's very good information to know.
Mm-hmm. And I got
Yeah,
that.
that
I
is
got that
good.
from the gal I partnered with, who said that it just wasn't worth the effort to basically likely get denied.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. No, that Michelle, I want to get your contact info from Hillary later on, and we can certainly talk.
I can send you guys both an email.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah,
No problem.
my horse is in doctor jail right now, so it's going to be a bit before we're able to get on the trail, but we can certainly get together and talk and plan about it. So that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me get through. Well, we're talking and preaching to the choir here about trail use and safety, but the three topics that have been on my mind for about the last 10 years is population increase out here, the lack of awareness, unfortunately, on the part of a lot of trail users. And that's really, you know, if you're not from this part of the country and you're excited to be in Colorado and you're excited to be on trails and you arrive, I can tell you just all kinds of stories. When I was a trip leader with the Colorado Mountain Club, the people would arrive without the proper attire or footwear or their 10 essentials, and you have to send them home because it's too unsafe. And God bless our search and rescue organizations here in Colorado that help people become more aware, unfortunately, through not having the knowledge that they need to be safe in the mountains. But it carries through to those of us who are equestrians and how we interact with people who are new to the area. But we want to be sure that that we have a positive outcome instead of, you know, more negative energy that can certainly create suddenly if somebody rides up behind your horse and spooks them. So that's kind of and again, I'm preaching to the choir here, but these are some of the thoughts that are really foundational to Colorado Safe Horse. And how do we share those trail safety norms without lecturing? We want to be sure we leave with everyone wins knowledge and experience, very much like what you put together, Hillary, for Ponies and Pedals. Everybody won in that event, and you had, you know, all kinds of things. It was set up as such a positive.
Yeah, that was our whole deal. Is we all got to be friends, or we're gonna lose the trails altogether.
Right. And the mountain bikers get that too.
And we're a nonprofit. Both organizations are nonprofit, so we managed to get a ton of donations. I didn't even put a ton of effort into getting donations, and we didn't give away all of our donations, but because we had so few people, everybody won. Like everybody got a t-shirt. Or what I think was really amazing is that the two people that showed up specifically for the event was a father and son bike riding team that just moved to Canyon City from Texas.
Wow.
And they won the $100 Big R gift card because he got pulled from the hat first. So he picked the best prize, obviously. But it was a really wonderful day to welcome them to Canyon City. The kid got to feed Nova some carrots and ride ahead of Nova on the trail. It was also the kid's first ever single track trail experience.
Oh, wow.
So he learned so much as a kid that may never ride a horse, but such a formative, you know, a formative experience. There's a word, like a core memory for this kid, right? Yep. His first experience in Canyon City with his dad was something like that. He doesn't know that there should have been like 20 more people there. It was for him, that kid. And if you guys know me, that's my big thing, is educating kids. Yeah. I think anything that we do, that's one of the things we should really focus on, is the younger population that we can engage and educate. Yep. The sooner we get them engaged and educated. And I'm not even remembering my slogan for the year: engage, educate. There's another E word that I can't think of. But to get them started young is just, to me, the most important thing we can do, because we're not going to be around forever. No, we got to pass this stuff on.
That's how you create mores and folkways. You know, we should call it adopt a trail kid, you know. And frankly, I've got here in my list, the governor's office is where I want to go. I want Polis or whoever is sitting in the governor's office to work with us on something I call Colorado Safe Horse Day. But when I was speaking with the gentleman from BLM, I just wrote him an email this afternoon thanking him for the conversation that we had in Canyon City. What's his name? Is it Sean? Your colleague from the BLM that was at the event?
Yeah, Sean Reynolds.
Yeah.
He's our Royal Gorge liaison.
What a great guy. And
oh yeah. Oh, and he had such a blast on the trail ride. He was so excited to ride that far back.
Oh,
And he
you
had such a good time. Like, and Michelle can tell you guys, she got to ride Nova down Grape Creek. That horse is like built for Grape Creek. She loves it so much. She could take a dead body through Grape Creek and not drop them. Like, he hardly needs any direction. But he really did have a blast. Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm so glad he made it. Like, it has, again, longer than Ponies and Pedals has been planned for years. Like, for 8 or 9 years, longer than I've been in RMBCH, we've been trying to get BLM to come out on that trail and see what we are trying to tell them about it.
Wow.
And so finally it happened. Finally, when I call him, like email him and say, hey, we need help with this, he'll say he understands.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting excited.
Well, and you should be, because what the impression that you left on that boy and his father, that's the use case right there. They have moved to Colorado from a different environment, and they were able to learn some really, really important stuff and some skills, courtesy of what you did last Saturday.
Well, and likely they picked moving to Canyon City for a reason. It's definitely a recreation hotspot, and if they're mountain bikers, it's a great place to be.
Yeah. So wouldn't it be great if we could replicate that experience and that opportunity by, I think when I fly in and out of DIA on that train, and you've got somebody coming over the speaker saying, welcome to Colorado. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a message that said, welcome to Colorado? Check the signs when you get off the train to sign up for a trail safety course, a mountain safety course.
A outdoor recreation safety course.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
And
you're making my event big. That's like a serious educational event.
well, but think about it. Think of how many different agencies are talking about what we're talking about tonight, and we're in silos. But if we can bring those together with some in common objectives, education, safety, that would cut down on the expense for evacuation, for SAR trips. It would make the public safer. It would tone down the temperature between different trail users. If you saw a trailhead sign that said, welcome to our Colorado trails, scan this QR code to know how to be safe.
Right, to recreate safely. Michelle, did you have something?
No, I was just like thinking that Linda must have read my mind today, or I must have been reading hers, because I started with a project like this. So her and I need to get together so we can put a proposal together to see if we can get a large amount of money from Boeing, more than just the 500.
Oh yeah, I'd love to talk to you about it.
Networking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would, if we can use this as a fundraiser to educate people and, I don't know, we need to talk. I'll let you finish.
No, these are just ideas. These
are ideas for a future meeting or otherwise. I would love to see Linda and Michelle and Marilyn all in one place. The places you would go.
I would agree. I think that would be a really good team.
Well, we're getting way off topic. Linda, I want to make sure that you finish your presentation before we go way off the rails.
It is late, but that's what's exciting about conversation. So we'll move along. I put some pictures.
I know, I'm just being a good host.
Yeah, no.
Look, there's me wearing one of our RMBCH volunteer vests.
Exactly. And I wanted everybody to see. I love this lady was so cute, and she was just having fun, and they're trail users. They need to know, we all need to know about the different kinds of trail users. And I can't remember this lady's name. Her quarter horse looks just like mine.
That is Shannon. That was Shannon. When I sought volunteers, she was the first one to say, I have a crowd safe horse, I'm ready for it. But that is just an iconic picture for Colorado Safe Horse. I think that is such a great picture.
It's a fabulous picture.
I want that. This is actually, I've been trying to get someone to donate some graphic design time for me. I want that in a Colorado Safe Horse style logo for a t-shirt for Ponies and Pedals for a logo design. I want to like just like that, where everybody being friends.
I think that'd be
I want
great.
that as a logo, as a black and white silhouette logo. I got to get one of my, I'm trying to get my graphic design friends to donate time to our nonprofit.
Great. I'll send you, I have a couple of other photos of them that I can send off to you.
Yeah, for sure. And you guys that are here, if you haven't been to Colorado Safe Horse Facebook page, be sure to check that out, like it, follow it, comment on things. That helps their algorithm, boost it out to more people. If you comment, then it'll show it to other people that are like you, that like similar things. So anytime you comment, that helps us. Same with Rocky Mountain Backcountry Horsemen, of course.
Yes.
And check out Fremont Adventure Recreation as well. Be nice to bike people out there,
Yeah.
and they will be nice to us.
That's right.
That is my little PSA. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, I was thinking about getting a t-shirt or something that said, "We love mountain bikers too," or something. I've got to think more about it. But this is one of our vests that we had made. And that Shannon's got it on her horse. And this, we made a video, and it's a blurry picture, just because I shot it off the top of the video. But Ashley was just poetic. It was 2.5 minutes, and she talks about her tips for safety, really good tips that we'd love to get that out there more, share it more.
Do you want to, is that a video in your PowerPoint? You can play that for everybody. I'm not sure that everybody's seen it. It's just 2 minutes.
Yeah,
if you've already seen it, you can watch how cute my horses are.
Well, I took the video out of this thing because when I played it, yes, it would play, but then I couldn't get back to the slides. So I just screenshot of this, but I can send it off to you guys.
Oh no, you guys have it. It's super cute. Michelle knows, she has seen it, and her comment, it's super cute, but the message gets a little, I didn't even hear what she was saying because I was watching how cute Chance was being in the back. Like, he's a super flirt. He will flirt with anybody for food.
Yeah.
And so him and that kid in the back are just bonding and having the best of times while she's trying to talk about safety. So, but it's a great PR kind of thing, and the message, it gets out there that horses aren't scary and they're friendly. Even if you didn't hear what Ashley is talking about for 2.5 minutes, it's still a valuable video.
Yeah, it's
Sorry, I keep interrupting you, telling you to stay on topic, and then I interrupt. But
No.
look how cute my horse is.
Oh, yeah, no, your horses are very cute, and it was good interaction with them. This was a very interesting piece of information that I thought was very, very important to share, and I'm not going to read the entire thing to you, but with 7 million visitors, which I had no idea that Jeffco Open Space has 7 million visitors. And this quote is a couple of years old. But the key point that she makes down in the bottom of the paragraph is when we think about courtesy on the trail, we think about, are people being empathetic to the other person's experience? Are they thinking about what impact their actions and behaviors have on other people? We have 7 million visitors, so coming to a park with a mindset of just my visit is not going to work. It's poetic. I'd love to interview her, assuming that she's still there. But I think people lose or may not have the ability to think in that way because you're in the mountains. You're not thinking that you're in a crowd, but essentially you are. You're interacting not just with the environment, but with lots of other people who have varying degrees of experience and knowledge about being safe out there. It was just kind of a good thing I wanted to share with you guys. 244 miles of trails and 27 parks. Another thing that I found this was published in the Denver Post a few years back. The regulations in Jeffco Open Space that I've never seen in forest, but they're here, and I just highlighted them about some of the things that I know I have not been in my experience when I've been on my horses. As a matter of fact, I've quit riding in the Front Range just because I don't feel safe doing it any longer. All right, so here's our little product set, and that's my Missouri Foxtrotter giving you a sheepish look on the right-hand side. This trainer who is a hunter jumper trainer. Why she adopted Rio, I'll never know, but she learned how to train a Foxtrotter. She's got the pink, by the way, that hot pink is a certified hunting color along with hunting orange in Colorado. The two hunting attire colors are that pink and orange. The products that I've got on the page are all in yellow because of those are our product pages, but the colors that we have are that pink, hunter orange, red. I'll show you that in a minute. But I had this breast collar made also that Scott in Texas makes these breast collars. And I quite like them if you're going to be out riding around in the backcountry during hunting season. This is kind of a good thing to have. I've purchased neck collars for my horses in the past. And I would really love to find something to put on his behind, but Scott's working on a rump wrap, but he's not finished with it. But the whole idea behind the vests that I've had made is to convey a message, just to convey a 10-second message. If you're a cyclist, please announce yourself. When I was a road cyclist doing Ride the Rockies, and riding down Red Mountain Pass 55 miles an hour, I shut off my speedometer once it got to that point. If you're going to come up on somebody really fast going 55 miles an hour, and what you're going to say is on your left. That's the rules of the road when you're on a road bike. But for some reason or other, that's not a rule that mountain bikers are familiar with. But to Ashley's point in the video, she says, to the horse owner, please talk to the cyclists. But the cyclists, the horse owners don't have an opportunity to speak if they don't know you're coming. So this was the first vest. This is the vest that I sent to Laura Wolf. I am partial to pink, so I sent a pink one to her. Then we got some pushback from some people saying this will insult mountain bikers and we don't want to make them mad. I'm like, well, if they're going to take exception to a message like that, I may not want to be around them to start with. But then I had this yield, it looks like that's blurry, but Shannon had this vest on, yield so horses can be safe, keep them safe. And then this one has a horse right-of-way. The other feedback I've gotten on the trail courtesy sign from a number of people is they said, we've never understood this sign. And to be honest with you, I don't know that I ever understood it, but these are the three designs that we've made. And we do have a couple of hats that we had made. Oh, sorry about that. And then I had a neck collar just for fire evacuation that is also available in case you've got to put your horse over at Jefferson County Fairgrounds or Douglas County Fairgrounds in the case of fire. Or if you're out camping and they take off and they get lost, at least you've got some color on them. I know there's quite a bit of discussion about whether or not you should have anything around a horse's neck, but if they get loose, yeah, I just don't know. This is my friend. So when I had these things made, this is Monica Zoltansky. She's the mayor of Sandy, Utah. A good friend of mine, and as you can see, she's on one of her quarter horses. I had one made for her. She's got the breast collar on backwards, but she rides in a place in Sandy called Dimpledale Canyon. And in order to get to that canyon, she rides straight from her house across a highway and then down into the canyon. And I just said, here you go, take some pictures and send them back to me. This is the rear view mirror that I use that I absolutely love. I can't go anywhere without that either. Well, I don't ride my bike in Denver any longer because it's just too dangerous, but I've always got to have this when I'm riding my horse on the trail. And I think that's the, let me see if we've got any other slides here. Oh, so this is some literature. I always like to learn as much as I can about a topic. So I did some research to find out when mountain biking became a quote unquote a thing on trails. And I saw this statement back in 1990 that had, and it was from the U.S. Forest Service, from a U.S. Forest Service study, and I should put some parentheses around it. But when addressed head-on and openly, the seemingly negative challenge of trail conflicts can become a positive opportunity to improve trail sharing and enhance outdoor recreation opportunities for all users. That mountain bike that I rode, that was a test model for the first automatic transmission shifting device, was back in the early 90s. That's how long ago it was. I went over the handlebars a couple times, broke the bike, and then we had to hike out of the canyon. And that was the last time I rode a mountain bike. But I don't recall the level of traffic on the trails becoming problematic until around the year 2000, 2002. And those of you, I'm sure, have had certainly lots of life experience that I haven't had. But I think that I would love to work with you guys on some initiatives to just keep horses and people safe, whether they're riding horses, riding bikes, or walking their dogs, or scoping out a trail like I was at Staunton Park, planning to ride my horse. You know, I don't need to get hit head on by a mountain biker flying around a blind corner going 100 miles an hour. You know, shame on him. And he was so mad that I was in the way.
That's how they are. I feel like thinking about kind of the overall message of at least sharing the road safely with bikes. I feel like a lot of horse people generally have more stories or hear stories more about bikes being mean to horses than they remember how many times they've probably been on the trail with a bike that did the right thing and everything was fine.
Yeah.
So like if we can just minimize those altercations that people tell stories about.
Yep.
Oh, this iconic, like my horse kicked the bike in half and the rattlesnake bit the guy and everything, karma, you know, I would love to just hear that no one has altercations like with it. It becomes no longer an issue. And the only thing we have to do is just educate young people because they're new to it and everybody else older totally knows how to do this and be safe.
Well, and
So
you know,
I think,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I'm good. I'm done.
The pink vest that I bought from Red Post Equestrian in Britain, which cost me $70, it's absolutely beautiful. But when I walk down the street with that thing on in my neighborhood, people wave at me. They stop about 20 feet before the stop sign. You know, but it's a positive interaction, and it just blows my mind every time you know, we go out every day. And there's maybe it's the pink, I don't know, but
Now would be a good time if anybody has last minute comments, questions. We'll probably wrap up in the next couple minutes here. I think you're at the end of your
yes.
presentation, right? Okay. I'm gonna share my screen just because you reminded me of the little stickers we gave out at our Ponies and Pedals.
Oh,
Just like it's like a super easy, simple way to just get a conversation started with somebody, right?
yeah, I didn't
You know,
get these.
even as a horse person, just say, "Hey, how's your day? What did you see? How was your hike? How
Yeah.
can you do this on a bicycle? I can barely do it on a horse." You know, just start a conversation, get them to make a human-like noise so that your horse isn't scared, or have an actual conversation with them like a human being. Some people are not prepared to do that. I just literally would talk to anyone everywhere all the time forever. It's a little bit more natural for me and Chance to be little trail ambassadors, but this is a super simple thing for bike people, especially. It's just, hey, how's your day?
It's wonderful. Can I get some of those? I didn't see those at the event.
I don't have them personally, but we can definitely get you some. I can try to get you in touch with Ashley and she can get you some of them.
Yeah, I'll make a note. That'd be great. Those
Oh,
are,
I just love that. That is wonderful.
Isn't it cute?
Yes.
Those aren't very big. Those are like maybe credit card size, maybe a little oversized credit card.
Yeah.
But definitely could make those into larger bumper stickers too. Like there's a lot of potential.
Oh, I love that idea.
Slap that on the back of a trailer. They're like, all I want
Yes.
you to do is be nice and say hi, bro.
yeah, put it on a vest. I'm gonna put that on a vest.
That too.
Who
Any
did
other
for you?
comments, questions?
Beautiful.
otherwise from the little small group that we have.
Nope. Thank you very much for the information. I got a lot out of this.
Oh, good.
Great, I'm
Appreciate
glad.
it.
Yeah, you guys all be safe out there for sure.
Yeah, thank you again for attending. And if you have any questions, Hillary can get you in touch with me and I
Yeah,
hope,
I sure can. You guys let me know.
yeah. All right.
Just email the rmbch.info@gmail.com if you have questions. We do have, for those of you in here, we do have one more webinar next week. We're doing at 6:30. I might even actually change the time to 7:30 just to give people the opportunity to be outside longer and maybe get more people. But we're doing on June 11th, we're doing a repeat equine first aid beginner review kind of class. So if anybody wants to check that out, and then otherwise you guys can check out our website for other stuff we're doing. Thanks so much for attending, everybody. And we'll talk to you very soon. Thanks again, Linda. It was
Thank
very
you.
wonderful to listen to you talk. Very passionate.
Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.